Yo, Everyday Superpower, the place where you learn about relationships, body language, game, human dynamics, psychology, biology, everything in between. 2 links down in the description of the bio, or the description, should I say. One of them will take you through to the body language catalogue I've composed in my own YouTube videos. It'll teach you how to read people from A to B just by observing their non-conscious behaviours. Second to that is going to be a link to the Patreon. That's the real game over there. You're going to learn how to seduce, understand seduction, attract, repel, do anything in between that spectrum you want. That's the game. Click that link. Now, moving on forwards. Topic of conversation. Let's have a discussion about, should she text you first? She hasn't texted you first. Should she be getting in touch with you? Blah de blah de blah. It varies depending on where you both stand, where your relationship is, what you have done together. Okay? Through my personal experience, let's get this started. If you have a high status, if you have something that woman needs, okay, as opposed to wants, she needs a better standard of life and you can provide that to her, she'll be more likely to get in touch with you first. If you showcase the genetic makeup to really enchant this woman, she might get in touch with you first. If you're Chad, right? That's what they call these sort of people. If you have just the tightest game of all time and you've engaged with this person in the streets and then got their number, or spoken to them one day and given them number or social media information and so forth, they might get in touch with you, quite possibly. All right, but you have to understand it is not in their imperative to do so. And when we speak on the woman getting in touch with the man, if we were to perceive it as a sexual market value, dynamic, you'd have to be at least a couple of points higher in order to influence that girl to do so, because she's not going to be really on the same plane as somebody who is within the same realms. She is not going to take pursuit of you from the get-go, purely as that's your job as a leader, right? Because you showcase not only leadership, but you showcase fearlessness. Because most men are just like, oh, I'm so scared of asking a girl out. I'm so scared of getting in touch and blah, 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 right? And that comes down to, survival mechanisms. We don't want to be shunned in front of the tribe, and we don't want to look unwanted, because biologically speaking, that's only going to turn more girls off. So when stuff like that happens, I mean, we can have a laugh at certain stories and whatnot and be honest and realistic, but we don't really want to highlight the fact that some people, if not a lot of people, find us unattractive, because it's only going to have a knock-on effect as to how we are perceived by those we want to, attract down the line, yeah? Such as when a girl gets in touch with us and says, oh, I'm so glad you gave me attention, other boys aren't giving me attention. You'll start to think, well, who am I to give you attention then, if you're the leftovers? By default, it lowers the value of that individual who does that. It's a bit of a turn-off, let's be real. So I personally believe, through my own experience, but I've got my own game, and that's the beauty of it. Everybody has their own characteristics, their own highlights, and their own means of sort of getting around things. I'm quite covert when it comes to my, my excellencies, so to speak, where I'm really good at. I try to keep it behind closed doors, purely as, I mean, look, I'm wearing a mask on my face. I've got no need to expose myself for who I am. I just want a space to talk. I like to express myself, and my verbal communication and the way I can communicate and understand people speaks above and beyond any sort of sparkling material showcase I can sort of put forward. Alright, I believe in myself to do the job, so I speak and I just allow the magic and self-belief of myself to attract and magnetize. But with that being said, that game I'm playing means I need to put my best foot forward as far as driving, right? Let's say we're on Hinge, your dating profile. If you don't have Hinge or anything alike, I mean, that's the one I use primarily. I think that's a good format for me. I might not have droves and droves of women, coming in, liking me, giving this, that, and the third. But my outbound game is pristine. My outbound game is fantastic because I know what to talk about, I know how to engage, and I know how to fearlessly approach and say the things that need to be said that others might not say. Not in a perverse way, which most men feel like they have to do. I've done a video on that. Most men just over-sexualizing things and speaking with the penis. It just isn't going to work like that. But I know how to speak in the right manner and reel them in from therein. And so that's the first text being sent. And even when it comes to reallocating them off of the dating profile elsewhere, whether it be phone, whether it be social media, just to rid them of that space where it's just like, not only can they duck you within a moment, it's sort of like you're still in this cheap space which is built purely to find somebody who is out on the market. From there, take them elsewhere. Yeah, now you're friends, now you're becoming familiar, now it's a better position because you've done something which most of the other men aren't doing. So you're speaking on better terms, you're engaging on better terms, you're perceiving each other on a more intimate basis. Take them through to the social media, take them through to the phone number. What I do is I direct them there. I say, and I know I'm going on a tangent, but this is the dating game, right? And everybody does things differently, and I'm hoping you're absorbing some knowledge here, because this works for me. It works incredibly well. I promise you, I assure you, right? This is body language 101, yeah? I teach you about body language. If you've gone through my body language catalogue, you'll see the honesty that is portrayed and expressed through my demeanour as I tell you these things, because I believe in them. Where do we go from here? So, take them elsewhere, and I say, do this, do that. Alright, we're establishing compliance because I am ordering them to do so. I've initially got in touch as the leader, and as the leader I tell them to do something. I give them a task to do, which is, here's my number, let's take it to text. I don't say what's your number, I give them my number, and I wait for the text to come through. Boom, there we go. That's a clear indication of interest, right? So in a way, at this point, now they've gotten in touch with me because we've refreshed the format. Instead of me reaching outwards to them, they've come to me through chasing it and leaving me the first message, but via this separate format. So in this new realm, in this new frame, they've now approached me. Have you seen how we've turned this upside down? This is the beauty of the game, right? Now, moving on from there. Let's say you want to establish a date, but you don't want to rush into things, so you're just going to text back and forth for the best part of a day or two, or, on and off for a week if you're in no rush, or if you've got better things to be doing, that's fair enough. It's up to you at this point, in my honest opinion, to keep the ball rolling, yeah? You need to be consistently present because there's going to be about 20,000 other men doing the same thing, right? So you need to be consistently present. I would recommend that. It's not a means of, she doesn't send me the first text. Why does she never get in touch with me? Blah, 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 right? You've established that you are connected with one another through your display of mutual interest. It's a declaration of interest via these dating apps. If not, I'm gonna go into a different alternative after. But on the dating apps, you've shown that you've shown interest with each other, so it's already a default. You continue reaching out, alright, until you arrange for a date. Now this is the be all and end all. Either there's some excuse and you don't go on the date. From that point, stop chasing that shit. She can start chasing you, and if she don't, who cares? You got about 20 other people you can start dealing with at this point. And during this process of you engaging, you should be doing that anyway, alright? Because not only is it gonna allow you to communicate better with the girl you initially started with, but it's just going to ensure that you're not desperate, and it's just like, you can brush it off your shoulders. It's completely fine. And as a younger person, that's hard to do because you become so connected. But as an older man, if you are really investing your time in the right places and you genuinely have a purpose and other better things to do, it's just like, who cares? I never even knew you anyway. You know what I mean? Whatever. There's about 100,000 million different girls out there. It does not matter. So take them to this site. They start chasing you. You ask them out. Bada bing, bada bum. You go out, have something to eat, have something to drink, see what happens, and then we go from there. That's a story for another time. but you've arranged a date. You've not worried about who's messaged who first, because it doesn't matter. Let's be real, it does not matter. Stop thinking about it so much. The thing is, it does not matter if she doesn't message you first, because you're speaking to about 20 people anyway. You got messages coming in and out on random intervals through your list so often. This is what you want to establish, that you don't know who's messaging who first anyway. You just don't know. Yeah, and you're so comfortable and calm with these girls reacting and engaging with you and communicating with you that you have no problem reaching out to women anyway. You're looking at the stories of women and responding to them with quirky little things and statements and conversation starters, because it does not make a difference. They could not message you back, but it does not matter because you don't even perceive it, because they've just been buried in that list, because you're getting these other responses through from the week before, the day before, the hours, the minutes before, because you're speaking and learning the game with these women and talking to these women. And that's my food for thought for today. If that was some game, click like and subscribe. I'm signing out, people. Peace.